What if the reason people don't value you is because you're always available, always saying yes, always showing up, always sacrificing yourself? Stay with me until the end, because the final lessons will truly change how you see your time, your energy, and your worth. There is a truth I want you to sit with for a moment, and it may feel uncomfortable at first. Your time is not a schedule, it is your life in motion. Every minute you wake up early, every hour you stay late, every moment you give away to something that does not move your heart forward is not just time spent. It is a piece of your future redirected. I learned this not from success, but from exhaustion, from days when I was busy from morning to night, and yet felt strangely empty, as if I was running faster but getting further away from myself. Many of us grow up believing that being available, responsive, and accommodating makes us responsible, kind, and reliable. We answer the call immediately. We show up even when we're drained. We agree even when our inner voice whispers no. But here's what life eventually teaches you. When you treat your time like it is endless, you begin to live like your life is unlimited. And the truth is, it isn't. Time is the only resource that never comes back. You can earn money again, you can rebuild relationships, you can recover from failure, but you cannot reclaim a single hour that was given away without intention. Think of your time like water flowing from a sacred vessel. Every day the vessel empties whether you are conscious of it or not. The question is not whether your time will be spent. The question is where it is being poured. Is it nourishing your growth, your peace, your purpose? Or is it leaking into obligations, distractions, and expectations that were never meant to define your life? I remember speaking to a young professional who told me proudly, "I'm always available, my phone is always on, I never say no." And I asked her gently, "When are you available for yourself?" She paused. Because that is the silent cost of constant availability. Your own dreams become the thing you postpone. You tell yourself you'll work on your goals later. You'll take care of your health later. You'll rest later. You'll figure out your purpose later. But life doesn't move in later. Life moves in days, and days quietly become years. And one morning people wake up and wonder how they became busy with everything except the life they truly wanted. The world will always give you more to do than you have time for. There will always be another request, another meeting, another message, another responsibility. Busyness is endless, but purpose is selective. Highly fulfilled people are not the ones who do the most. They are the ones who protect their time fiercely for what matters most. And this is where awareness begins. Every yes you say carries a hidden no. When you say yes to something that drains you, you are saying no to your energy. When you say yes to distractions, you are saying no to your focus. When you say yes to other people's priorities, you may be saying no to your own future. And I'm not asking you to become selfish or disconnected from the world. I'm asking you to become conscious. Because there is a spiritual dimension to time that we rarely talk about. Time is not just productivity. Time is alignment. The way you spend your hours reveals what you truly believe you deserve. If your time is constantly sacrificed, it slowly sends a message to your own mind: my goals can wait, my rest can wait, my growth can wait. And over time, your confidence begins to shrink, not because you're incapable, but because you're living in reaction instead of intention. Let me give you a simple metaphor. Imagine your life is a garden, and your time is the sunlight. Whatever you expose to, that sunlight will grow. If you keep giving your sunlight to distractions, negativity, unnecessary obligations, or people who take without appreciating, those things will grow. But if you give that same sunlight to learning, building, healing, creating, resting, and dreaming, Your life will begin to transform in ways that feel almost magical. The difference is not talent. The difference is where your light is placed. And here is the part most people don't realize: the world does not decide the value of your time. You do. The moment you begin to treat your time as sacred, people begin to treat it differently too. Not because you become distant, but because your presence becomes intentional. There is a quiet power in someone who cannot always be reached, who chooses their commitments carefully, who shows up fully instead of constantly. That kind of presence commands respect without saying a word. But I know what you might be thinking. What if people get upset? What if I disappoint someone? What if opportunities go away? Let me tell you something from experience. The opportunities meant for your growth do not disappear when you protect your time. The only things that fall away are the distractions that were never meant to carry your future. And this is where courage comes in, because protecting your time is not a scheduling decision. It is a self-worth decision. It is the quiet declaration that your life has direction, that your energy has value, that your days are not random but meaningful. Start noticing your patterns. Notice how many hours disappear into scrolling, reacting, fixing problems that were never yours to solve. Notice how often you interrupt your own priorities to accommodate someone else's urgency. Most people are not overwhelmed because life is too demanding. They are overwhelmed because their time has no boundaries. And without boundaries, time becomes chaos. But here is the beautiful part. Small changes create powerful shifts. 1 hour a day dedicated to your growth. 1 evening protected for rest. 1 honest, I can't commit to that right now. These small acts are not selfish. They are investments in the person you are becoming. And the more you invest in yourself, the more your life begins to reflect clarity instead of pressure, direction instead of noise. I want you to understand this deeply. Your future is not built in big dramatic moments. It is built in how you spend your ordinary days. It is built in the quiet choices no one applauds. The decision to wake up earlier. The decision to turn your phone off. The decision to focus when no one is watching. The decision to rest when your body asks for it. This is how powerful lives are created, not through availability but through intentional living. And if this is already making you reflect, stay with me, because the lessons ahead are even more powerful. What we're uncovering right now is only the beginning. Many people understand that time matters, but very few understand how over-availability silently shapes their value, their relationships, and their confidence. And if you miss those insights, you'll regret it, because this journey is building step by step towards something much deeper. For now, I want you to carry this awareness with you. Every day you wake up, you are given 24 hours of life, not 24 hours of obligation. Those hours are your chance to move closer to your purpose, your peace, your strength, and your truth. Guard them, direct them, honor them. Because one day when you look back at your life, you will not remember how available you were to everyone else. You will remember what you built with the time you chose to keep for yourself. And the moment you truly understand that, something shifts inside you. You stop living to respond, and you start living to become. And trust me, what comes next in this journey will challenge you even more. Because protecting your time is only the first step toward reclaiming your power. Stay with me until the final lessons. Because what you're about to discover could change not just your schedule, but the entire direction of your life. There is a quiet law of human nature that most people never realize until life teaches it the hard way. What is always available is rarely valued. It doesn't mean people are cruel, and it doesn't mean the world is unfair. It simply means that the human mind is wired to respect what feels intentional, limited, and chosen. Think about it for a moment. We protect what is rare. We take care of what feels special. But when something or someone is always there, always agreeing, always responding instantly, always adjusting, the effort behind that presence slowly becomes invisible. Not because your kindness is small, but because constant availability removes the sense of value around it. Many people live their lives believing that if they give more, people will appreciate them more. So they answer messages immediately, even when they're exhausted. They say yes to plans they don't have energy for. They become the emotional support for everyone, the problem solver for everyone, the reliable one who never says no. And for a while, it feels good. You feel needed. You feel important. You feel like you matter. But slowly, something shifts. The gratitude becomes expectation. The appreciation becomes assumption. And one day you realize people are not asking if you're available anymore. They're assuming you are. I remember a conversation with a young man who told me, "I don't understand why no one respects my time. Everyone just drops work on me." When I asked him how often he said no, he smiled and said, "Never. I don't want to disappoint anyone." And that's when the truth became clear. The world didn't decide his value. His behavior taught the world how to treat him. This is not about blaming people. This is about understanding patterns. When you are always accessible, always accommodating, always sacrificing, you unintentionally communicate that your time, your energy, and your boundaries are flexible, even optional. And human nature responds accordingly. It's like a light that is always on. After a while, no one notices it anymore. But turn that light on only when it matters, and suddenly the room pays attention. Value is created through intention, not through constant presence, and this is where many people struggle. Because they confuse availability with love, with loyalty, with professionalism, with kindness. But real respect doesn't grow from how much you give. It grows from how consciously you give. Think about someone in your life who is not always reachable. Someone who chooses their commitments carefully, who doesn't respond immediately, who protects their time. Notice something. When they show up, their presence feels meaningful. When they speak, people listen. When they commit, it carries weight. That's the power of selective availability. It's not distance, it's intention. It's the difference between being everywhere and being impactful. Over-availability doesn't increase your value, it dilutes it. Imagine a beautiful piece of art placed in every room of a house. After a while, people stop noticing it. But place that same piece in a quiet space, with intention and attention, and suddenly it becomes something people admire. Your time and energy work the same way. When you give them everywhere, they lose their impact. When you give them intentionally, they gain meaning. And here's something deeper. This pattern doesn't just affect how others see you, it affects how you see yourself. When you're constantly responding to everyone else's needs, your own priorities begin to feel less important. Your goals become something you'll work on when things slow down. Your rest becomes something you'll take after this week. Your growth becomes something you'll focus on later. But later rarely comes. Because when you're always available, your life becomes reactive instead of intentional. You wake up responding instead of creating. You spend your days managing other people's urgency instead of building your own direction. And over time, this creates a quiet exhaustion, not just physical but emotional. The feeling that you're busy all the time yet not moving forward. And here's the spiritual truth behind it. When you don't honor your own energy, you slowly disconnect from your own purpose. Because purpose requires space. Growth requires focus. Transformation requires boundaries. The universe cannot work through you if your energy is scattered everywhere. You cannot build a meaningful life if your attention belongs to everyone except yourself. This doesn't mean you become unavailable to the people you love. It means your presence becomes intentional, not automatic. There is a powerful difference between being available and being accessible with awareness. One comes from fear of disappointing people. The other comes from confidence in your priorities. And yes, at first, this shift may feel uncomfortable. When you stop responding instantly, some people may be surprised. When you say, "I'll get back to you later," instead of dropping everything, it may feel strange. When you begin protecting your time, you might even feel guilty. But that guilt is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're breaking a pattern. And patterns always resist change. What's important to understand is this: the right people don't lose respect for your boundaries. They gain respect for your clarity. Because confident people recognize intentional living. Only those who benefited from your lack of boundaries will struggle with your growth. And that is a powerful filter for your life. Let me share a simple metaphor. Imagine your energy as a phone battery. If you keep every app running all day, responding to every notification, opening every request, your battery will drain quickly. And when it matters most, when you need focus, creativity, strength, you'll be empty. But when you manage your usage, close unnecessary apps, and charge intentionally, your energy lasts for what truly matters. Over-availability is emotional multitasking without limits. And no human being can sustain that without losing clarity, confidence, and direction. The most successful, fulfilled people you see are not available to everything. They are available to what aligns. They choose their conversations, they choose their commitments, they choose where their attention goes. And that choice is what creates their impact. If this is already resonating with you, stay with me. Because what we're uncovering right now is only the surface. The lessons ahead are even more powerful. And if you leave before the final points, you'll miss the deeper truth about boundaries, energy, and self-respect that most people spend years trying to understand. For now, I want you to begin observing your own patterns. Notice how often you respond out of habit instead of intention. Notice how quickly you say yes before checking your own energy. Notice how often you interrupt your priorities for someone else's convenience. Awareness is the first step to change. You don't have to become distant overnight. You don't have to withdraw from the world. You simply have to pause before you give your time and ask one question. Is this aligned with the life I'm building? That one pause can change everything. Because the moment your availability becomes intentional, your value begins to rise. Not just in the eyes of others, but in your own mind. And when your self-value rises, your decisions become stronger, your focus becomes sharper, and your life begins to move with direction instead of pressure. Remember this: you're not here to be constantly reachable. You are here to be meaningful. Your presence is powerful. Your attention is valuable. Your energy is limited. Treat it like something sacred, and the world will begin to see it that way too. And trust me, what comes next will challenge you even more, because understanding your value is only the beginning. The final lessons will reveal how boundaries transform not just your schedule, but your confidence, your relationships, and your entire sense of identity. Stay with this journey until the end, because the transformation you're stepping into is far bigger than availability. It's about reclaiming the power of your life. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the word yes has cost you more than you ever imagined. Not in money, not in opportunity, but in energy, in peace, in identity. Because every time you say yes to something that goes against your inner truth, a small part of you learns to stay silent. And over time, that silence becomes a habit. Many of us were raised to believe that being kind means being agreeable, that being good means being accommodating, that love means sacrifice without limits. So we learned to smile when we were overwhelmed, to show up when we were exhausted, to agree when our heart was quietly whispering no. We thought this made us strong, generous, dependable. But here is a truth that changes everything. Boundaries are not rejection, they are self-respect in action. They are the quiet line where your dignity begins. I remember meeting a woman who was admired by everyone around her. She was always helping, always available, always the one people turned to. But when she spoke privately, her voice carried a deep exhaustion. She said something that stayed with me. Everyone knows they can rely on me. I just don't know if I can rely on myself anymore. That's the hidden cost of living without boundaries. When you constantly override your own needs, your own priorities start to feel less important even to you. And when you stop honoring yourself, the world unconsciously follows your example. Because people don't learn how to treat you from your words. They learn from what you tolerate. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are doors that show people how to enter your life with respect. Think of your energy like a home. If the doors are always open, anyone can walk in at any time, with any demand, any expectation, any urgency. But when your doors have structure, when entry is intentional, your space becomes peaceful, organized, and safe. The right people don't feel rejected by a closed door. They knock. And those who truly value you will always wait for the door to open. What makes boundaries difficult is not the act itself, but the fear behind it. The fear of disappointing someone, the fear of being seen as selfish, the fear of losing approval, love, or opportunity. But here is something life teaches you again and again. If someone's respect disappears the moment you honor your limits, what they respected was your compliance, not your worth. Real relationships don't break when you express your needs. Real respect grows when you do. And spiritually, this is where your power begins to return to you. Because every time you say a truthful no, you strengthen your connection with yourself. You send a message inward that your time matters, your energy matters, your peace matters. And that internal alignment changes the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you decide. Confidence is not built